Back here on the Rodcast, and joining me right now for a very special conversation, Mr. Collins Johnson, talking about something that is very cool that is happening next week, Thursday, May 9th, out at Gray Rock Golf Club. It's the John Lockhart Foundation, the fourth annual golf tournament benefiting the John Lockhart Foundation, benefiting some other great causes. Collins, appreciate you coming in so much to talk about the foundation, talk about the golf tournament, talk about our brother, John Lockhart. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get started. Let's talk. Let's start off a little bit about the John Lockhart Foundation, and I can tell you, someone that I met John Lockhart probably 2003, I guess, like 2002, 2003, and I was working for a band called Vallejo back in the day, and he was somebody that when I came in was such a big part of helping me introduce to people and just always helped me. Times he didn't have money, he would get me a gig somewhere or help work with him. It was just such a great guy for the 20 years of friendship with John Lockhart. And I know there's so many people that have that story. So it's so great to see the foundation. How did you come into being part of the foundation and the foundation get built?
Well, first, just let me tell you, I love hearing those stories because you're right. There's a lot of them. And that's why we do what we do, because of the impact John made on this community and the people in it. And I met John, roughly around the same time, about 2001, 2002. Fast forward, John passed away 4 years ago, and due to colon cancer, and he had a fast growing mutation that unfortunately just couldn't be overcome. But as we got through those final days and times, we were able to talk a lot about life, and the conversation came up where John wanted to continue to give back to his community, and we kind of choreographed the concept of this foundation. And so there it was born. We have a 9-member board, people that love John and that John loved, that are all, perfectly placed on this board. And our main effort here is to advocate for children that are the victims of crime and abuse. And this was something that was near and dear to John. So this is a beneficiary that he's asked and placed on this foundation. And we'll do some other stuff down the road with some cancer research and some charity for music. But this particular event, our beneficiary is the Center for Child Protection, which is a private advocacy group for children that are the victims of crime and abuse. And that's what John wanted.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a great cause, helping out, and you were telling me right before that, if people don't know who John Lockhart was, he was a very influential musician in the Austin music scene for 30 years, 30 plus, and just so amazing. And from Lisa Tingle and he was recently in Suede and Texas Unlimited Band. And I mean, he played with my brother MC Overlord and I don't know 50 other bands around town. The Business back in the day.
Business,
so many great bands John Lockhart played a part of. So you probably, if you ever go see music in this town, there's a good chance you saw John Lockhart play. You were saying you just built a stage at the Center for Child Protection too.
We did, and this was something that was really special for us. So last year we were able to build not just any stage, a really large stage on the campus for the Center for Child Protection, and we dedicated this stage as the John Lockhart stage. And so this stage is for the children there that have kind of gone through some struggles with abuse, and they're having to kind of rebuild their lives, and they're having to kind of go through that system of reliving this through the testimony and of telling their story all the way through a courtroom proceedings and then getting their life back on track. So this stage offers them not only an influence of music, but theater, performance, awards, all on this stage on their campus. There's a plaque there that honors John Lockhart and talks about John and his story. And so he has a permanent fixture on the campus for the Center for Child Protection now in his honor that serves those children in a wonderful way. And some of the pictures and some of the events that we've been able to see they're doing on that stage are just really special for us.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, I've for all kids, it's very important to help them find their voice, but especially people that have been affected by different circumstances. And so it's a beautiful thing. And because of this, you're raising money again this year, doing the 4th annual golf tournament. Tell me a little bit more about that. I know it's happening May 9th out at the Gray Rock Golf Club. If people want to get more information, JohnLockhartFoundation.com. But tell me a little bit more about the golf tournament.
Yeah, so years past, we've done it at Avery Ranch. We had some reasons, both professionally and logistically, to kind of switch this venue this year. So we're doing it at Gray Rock, which is in South Austin. We've always kind of kept with a theme of Cinco de Mayo. However, there's only certain days that the courses can let you
Yes.
take over their whole course. And
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo just fell on, I think, a weekend this time.
Yeah, it fell on a
But-
Sunday, I believe.
So we're doing Nueve de Mayo. We're keeping with the same theme. We're keeping with the Cinco de Mayo theme. We're just switching it up to Nueve de Mayo. It's on May 9th. We got 11:30 check-in. We'll have some mariachi music, some sack lunches. We'll have refreshments and beer. It's going to be a good time. The tee-off's 1 o'clock. It'll be a shotgun start. And by the way, this event's just so much fun. We're generally a sold-out event. Lots of exposure for the sponsors. Darn good time for the participants. We come off the course. We go into a fajita dinner with live music with some fantastic musicians, Brian Lee, Rod Williams, and fajita dinner, and then we just have a good time. We give some awards out, and it's really special. But most importantly, aside from what we're doing in the calls, this is just a lot of fun. It's a good event.
No, it's one of those things where you bring out what kind of embodied John Lockhart, which was he was a really good guy who did a lot of great things, but he was also a blast to be around and just a great friend. And that's what it sounds like y'all are doing out there with the golf tournaments and everything is a chance for everybody to have fun and just go enjoy yourself. And then at the end of the day, you tell everybody, hey, by the way, we did something great too.
Yeah, we did something
added
great.
benefit.
we did something great. We gave back to the community. We lifted up our brother, John Lockhart. We lifted up the children in this community. Over 800 children are served every year by the Center for Child Protection. And, as sad as it is that this is a need for children, there's a heartfelt side of it that there's a support and that there's help. And, the more we can do to contribute to that, the happier that we are. So, yeah, we're going to have a heck of a good time playing some golf, listening to music, eating well, drinking well. And then we're going to be able to write a check and give some good money to a place in this community that it can go to help the children in our community in support and honor of John Lockhart's legacy. So it's very important and very, very special for us.
Yeah. And I mean, if you want to say, if you guys want to check it out, johnlockhartfoundation.com is the website to do it. It'll have all the information about the foundation. It'll have all the information about the event as well. You were saying it's close to sold out, but there's still a few spots available and a few sponsor spots available if you want to plug that for them.
That's correct. We've been fortunate enough to have a couple of title sponsors so far. Our platinum sponsor, Austin Title, and our gold sponsor, Austin Roofing. But we've still got our silver sponsor and our bronze sponsor available. I believe we've got a driving range sponsor and maybe one beverage cart sponsor still available. And again, this is a show. This is an event that's going to be sold out. A lot of exposure. So we can sure use some help getting those last few sponsorships filled. I think there may be one team available still with the silver sponsorship that is available. But yeah, and then if you want to just contribute without coming out, or if you want to just come out for the dinner and the show, we totally support that too. You can buy a ticket, just come out at the end of the day and be part of the festivities, listen to the music, have some fajitas, grab a beer, and put the bow tie on the event. Being there at the end.
And I can tell you if they're, if it's Brian Andrew Lee and those guys, they're amazing musicians as well. You're going to go see them and have a good time with them. I promise it, because I know those guys as well, seen them play many times. So you will have a really good time out there. But yeah, it's happening next week, Thursday, May 9th, Nueva de Mayo is where it'll be happening. The JohnLockhartFoundation.com. Let's talk about John a little bit more before we get out of here, because anytime I get to talk about John, it is a fun time. When was the first time you saw John play? What was the first thing you saw him play?
First time I saw John play was back in 2001, and he was playing in a variety of bands then.
Yes.
Some still with the Vallejo guys. I think maybe that was Juice or something then, but he was
still. Oh man, I remember those. Yeah, those were fun times.
And he was
forgot about those.
So he was still playing, and he was playing, rock and roll a lot back then. He migrated later towards some country stuff as well, but. And I was kind of in the music business a little bit back then too. We were in the mortgage business like everybody else in 2001 and 2, and so it was a lot of fun watching John play and be in his element. And then, to be able to grow through the years with John and kind of see that how he never stayed on the surface, even in his music side. He always dug deep. He went deep. He became just such a pivotal and influential member of the music community here and the professional community here in Austin. And so, it's just been an honor to have developed that friendship with John over all that time. And he was one of my best friends on the planet. So, as hard as it was being with him that last year and going through some of those things, he was always stronger than me. He was always better than me. And he was always changing my life along the way through his hardest times. And so,
I mean, I can tell you when I was working here and when I was first doing some shows here on the Horn, he was so he was texting me how proud he was and how happy he was listening. So it's a very cool thing. And he was a guy that, you know, I can say, you know, on both sides that I have a good friend that he was a mentor for as a guitar player and then helped him get the home loan. So he bought a house right before the market blew up. And he's like, I wouldn't still be able to live in Austin if it wasn't for John Lockhart. So just it's a very cool thing that his name gets to be carried on and helping all these people and helping these kids now. JohnLockhartFoundation.com. The 4th annual golf tournament is happening May 9th, but a lot of events happening. Collins, I appreciate you coming in. If y'all like to be a part of it, check out the website. And if you can't be a part of it now, check it out later. Join in the fun, subscribe to their newsletters and do things like that because it is a really good cause, and I'm excited to see what they do in the future.
Yeah, and keep following us. We do some other events along the way too. And before we close this segment out, I'd like to thank you, Patrick, with the horn. I'd like to thank Coke FM.
Yes.
I know you guys don't bring me in here to hear me speak. You do it because you love John, and you do it because you love this cause, and we're eternally grateful for you guys.
Of course, it's a really great cause, and anything for our brother John, we will do. Appreciate you, Collins. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and keep it rolling here on the Rodcast on the Horn.